My name is Tom Otstot. I'm very honored to be here with you today. This is really exciting. I was asked to come in and do a seminar on personal branding, which I think is just an amazing subject that's been around for a while. It's never been more important than it is today. The title of our seminar today is Brand You. And when we get to the end of it, if you can last that long, the last slide I have will have contact information. If you'd like to get in touch with me, if you'd like a copy of this presentation, no problem. You can either copy it down or take a screenshot, or I've also got a QR code that will take you to my website, which you can certainly request and download a copy of this if you'd like to do it. So if you want it, that's terrific. And I know it's going to be recorded as well, but as far as the actual PowerPoint itself, I'm happy to let that be available to you if you think it would be valuable. Back in 1997, it's a long time ago, there was a gentleman by the name of Tom Peters. You may have heard of him before. He is a brilliant, brilliant man. He is the father of modern managerial and leadership thought. He wrote some incredible books, and he did many, many things years ago, but he wrote this article for Fast Company magazine entitled A Brand Called You. It was way ahead of its time. It was revolutionary. It was filled with this incredible insight. In fact, you can find it online now. You can search for it and read it, and it still holds up. It's a great read, except there are some things that are a little bit dated, like there's a part where they talk about the brilliant marketing strategy of Philip Morris reducing the price of a pack of cigarettes by 40 cents. But if you can get past that, it's really terrific. But he was ahead of his time. And the idea that Mr. Peters had was that you're a brand, that you personally are, and that you don't have a choice in the matter anymore. And if you want to manage your career correctly, and if you want to manage your life correctly, you've got to start thinking about yourself as your own brand. Back in those days, in the 90s, we were at a point where there was a big transition, shift, if you will, in industrialized America, where it used to be if you worked hard every day, if you came in and you did your job, if you kept your mouth relatively quiet, and you showed up, you could expect to work there for 30 years, get a gold watch, have a pension, have a partner, retire, and move to Florida. But those days are gone. Your loyalty to your company, paycheck to paycheck. You can lose your job at the drop of a hat simply because they want to balance the budget. It has nothing to do with what you're out there doing for a living. And what Tom Peters said was, if you want to survive in this world, you've got to start to manage yourself as a brand, something that is independent of just simply a job description. Let's be clear about what a brand is before we really get started. The American Marketing Association has a definition. A name, a term, a design, a symbol, or any other feature that identifies one seller's good or service as distinct from somebody else. Okay, remember that. There'll be a quiz. But the fact is that in this world where we're inundated with brands, we are already branded as people. Think about the clothes that you wear, the designer labels that you like to wear. Think about the car that you drive. There's certain brands that we resonate with. What kind of a computer are you using? If you're using an Apple computer, I guarantee you don't have any stickers on it. It's probably never dirty. Do you ever get the newest iPhone? We're connected to these things. We're connected to things that we relate to. These are things that resonate with who we are, and they help us define ourselves for others when they see us. If we're driving a Harley-Davidson motorcycle, they readily know that we're a rebel out there in the world. We don't have to really say it. These brands are things that help us really brand ourselves. But you yourself are also a brand. Like it or not, according to Tom Peters, you manage your brand like you are Nike, like you are Apple, like you are Harley-Davidson. It can be very confusing out there because, as I said, the world is inundated with brand. It's become very noisy. It's like what I like to say is a bullhorn to a monkey, right? And we don't respond as much as we used to the efforts of companies out there with their brands. When you go in it, you get very tired when you look at how many brands of cereal that there are, how many brands of aspirin and things. And when we talk about personal brand, it can become overwhelming to us. When you think about how many people are out there in the world trying to do this, there's a way for us to cut through that noise. And you're going to have to learn to do it if you want to stand out and define and differentiate yourself and give yourself any sort of stability out there, any sort of fulfillment out there in this world that we live in. Now, we've identified the definition of a brand already, but let me let you in on something. I like simple. For those of you who know me, topics I have typically have simple this or simple that, simple leadership, simple mentoring. I love simple. The reason I like simple isn't because it's easy. It's because it's something you can execute. Simple, in fact, is very, very hard. When you get down to a concise level where you can define something in the simplest terms, where you know immediately what it is, you've had to do a lot of work to get there. And that's what we want to do today. We want to really get ourselves to a simple level where we know exactly who we are, what we want to represent in the world, what people are going to know, and to go out and execute it. And it's not going to happen with the American Marketing Association definition of what it is. We want something that's a little bit simpler with less noise. So here it is. Nothing more than a promise. I'm going to add something to it, though. A brand is a promise delivered. Anybody can stand back and make a promise, but if you can't keep that promise, it's not worth anything. So your promise has to be something that's delivered. You want to make your promise something that has a purpose to it. A brand isn't a slogan. It's not an advertisement. It's about creating some sort of a meaningful connection with your target audience. A brand, an identity for a brand comes from like a clear mission that you have. It's a vision, some sort of vision that's based on some well-defined values that you define for yourself. When you approach it this way, this is what gives you the focus and the direction to actually have a brand. It actually gives you the ability to build the most important thing with your audience, and that's trust. So simply put, your personal brand it's who you are and what you have to offer. Now, I want to warn you, today's session is not going to be a step-by-step instructional on how to build the greatest website and how to go about social media and build your social media presence. Extremely important, especially today. But honestly, those instructions you can go on the web, you can find instructions to do this, and you can do this yourself. This session is about something that I think is more important. This is about laying the foundation to be able to go out and do that. You don't start with that, you finish with it. This session is about the foundation. This is about the thought process, the hard work of understanding yourself and defining. So I call it, as James Brown would say, the soul of personal branding. Doesn't that make you feel good? The first thing that when we talk about building our personal brand is creating what we call a brand vision. And a brand vision is nothing more than telling the world who you are and what's the difference that you're going to make. We've all heard the term USP, unique selling proposition. That's really what a brand vision is. It's what makes you different. It's what makes you unique. It's what makes you special. It gives you the ability to communicate your value and expertise in a way that's going to make people want to learn more about you and want to relate to you. It's going to create this clear, vivid, painted picture for people to see. And it's going to help you, most importantly, move from where you are right now to where you want to be. A brand vision. They're all different, depending on who you are, what you do, what you stand for. But they contain certain elements that are all the same. There's certain, like 3 things I think that they all contain. The first one is who I am. This is your personal why. The why. This is your core values. These are the desired traits that you want to be associated with. And the second thing is, what do I want known for? It's your purpose, okay? What you do, how you do it. It's all about the unique knowledge on what you're going to do that you're bringing to the party, your unique abilities, your unique skills, that whole combination of things that make you special. That's what sets you apart. No one else can compete with you on that level. And lastly, how I help serve others. That's your passion. That's how that passion creates in the problems that you solve, the challenges that you face, and the difference that you make. All of these into 1 or 2 statements, There's sentences, then you have a brand statement that really works, okay? And actually, let me give you an example of one here. I'm a health and wellness coach committed to helping super busy professionals eat better and exercise smarter so they stay physically fit and have more time and energy for the people and things they love. Yours doesn't have to be that wordy, but you get the picture. That's really what it is. And I think that the most important element of this is that first element. It's the who I am. This is the part I want you to spend a lot of time on. This personal why. Now that's Simon Sinek. And if you don't know Simon Sinek, you need to. Simon Sinek is a brilliant thinker on the area of leadership. He's done a lot. He wrote a great book, and it propelled him to fame. It was called Start With Why. And it was about this idea of golden circle. If you haven't read Start With Why, you should. There are videos. There's a TED Talk that he did, which is absolutely brilliant about it. And it's terrific. He also did something called Why Leaders Eat Last, and he's really great at all these things. But his basic idea, and the one that really means something to us in the area of personal branding is this, is that as consumers, as human beings, we want to be around people who are like us and share our beliefs. It's very easy to go out and communicate what you do. Oh, I'm a certified public accountant. Wow, terrific, right? But what resonates and creates followers, what creates true believers, devotees to you, is why we do what we do. That's the most important part of it. And that's what Simon Sinek talks about. So go out and find Simon, and you can see so many things for free on the internet and read his books and read his things and his blog posts. And it's just brilliant stuff. It's going to really help you drill down to find the why you do what you do. See, when we communicate our why, it relates to what others believe. And when that happens, we get this real connection with our audience. They relate to us on a personal level. And it's very much grounded on the core values and the purpose and the passion that we have. So this is why this is so important to us. What I want to talk about is what Elvis wants to talk about here is about, thanks Elvis, he's helping us today, is a values part of this equation. We truly want to have a deep understanding definition of our own personal values. These are the things that wake you up every day. These are the things that are the center of your being. These are what we call the compass of your life. I'll give you an example. We can value things like ambition, family, community, friends, romance. We can value intelligence. The values are the principles, the standards, and the ideals that really, truly. So this is very important. And what I would like for you to do, not now because we don't have time, but what I'd like for you to do is, I would like for you to get in touch with your values. And what we do is we're going to make a list of all the important values that come to mind. Okay? Take your time. Get yourself a legal pad and a pen or a crayon, whatever it is. Take a weekend. Just keep it handy for you. When a value pops into your mind, when you're thinking about it, go write it down. This is the hard work that we're talking about to get us to something that is simple. List all the values that you can think of that you can identify with. Things that are important, semi-important, whatever they are, they resonate with you. Write them all down, all of them. And then when you get them all done and you've been through the weekend, then I want you to take the best five, the five that you think are the ones that win the contest and that are the most important to you. Those are the five that I want you to have. And on the same vein, we want to talk about traits. Okay? These are the attributes, the qualities, the characteristics that make you you. Okay? These specific traits, these are the ones that you want to be associated with your personal brand. Again, I advise you to have about 5 of these. If you get more than that, it's hard to support them. Do you want to be seen as who is organized, creative? You want to be someone who's trustworthy. Be seen, you want to identify what those traits are, and you want to know how you want to be viewed by your target audience. So again, the next weekend, take a legal pad, take a crayon, write down all the traits that you can think of. Make a list, as many as you can. The more you have, the better. These are the things you want to be identified with, and then select the 5 that are important for you. So now we have our values and we have our traits. Look, when you're thinking about being out in the market, we have countless choices. We have myriad of options that are available to us. Okay? When we're looking to solve a problem or meet a challenge, there are so many ways for us to choose. How do we make that choice? We find someone that we trust. We find that trusted expert, that authority. That's what you want to be. That's exactly what you want to be out there in your market. Your authority, your expertise should be directly related to your purpose and your passion, the things that we talked about earlier, okay? You want to use your why. You want to use your values. You want to use your traits. You want to define the need that you want to fill that is related to your passion. This becomes your purpose. And when you have truly defined all this concisely, that becomes your brand. There's 4 things that you're going to want to do. Number 1 is you're going to want to focus on your niche. Number 2 is you're going to want to provide real value. Number 3 is you want to make sure you're consistent. And number 4 is you want to engage your community. This is how we become the authority in what we want to actually go out there and do in the world. Okay? And the biggest word of caution that I have for you about this is if your effort for all of this is, I want to know what the hot topic is. I want to know what the hot problem is to go out there and solve. I want to know what the big subject is, what is coming, what's in the future, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be the innovative thinker in that particular area. You're doing it the wrong way. Don't do that. It should be something that's authentically you. And I'm talking about really, truly yourself. This is why we went through all these different exercises. Your personal brand is not some crafted persona. It's not an invention. It has to be authentically you. Look, it's like this. Think about it this way. Real people, they want to interact with real people. Think about when you call somebody, a company on the phone, man, it's such a beating because all you get is the monotone, robotic voice, pick number 1, pick number 2, and all I want to do is you start saying, well, I know if I pick 0 or star, I'm going to get a real person, then it hangs up on you. We want to deal with real people. We want to interact with people who are genuinely there and genuinely themselves. That's the key for it. So your ideals, your values, your passion, your mission, these all have to be based on who you are at the very core level. And they have to be authentically you. Now, I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get in trouble. Please don't send me any emails. I don't have any other way to say this. As human beings, we all have something in common. We have something in our brain called a bullshit meter. We know when we're being bullshit. We know when people are being disingenuous to us. We know when they're not being authentic. We know when that passion is something that's manufactured. It's exactly the reason why we don't want to do business with car dealerships. It's exactly the reason that we don't believe politicians. Because they're telling us something that they think that we want to know in order for something good to happen for them. You have to be authentically. I can't stress this enough in whatever you do. The more authentic that you make your personal brand, the more likely that you're going to have something that's going to resonate and people are going to buy your message. So please do that. Now, Elvis is going to help again. As you go through this effort, we want to also, as we talked about, we want to define our audience. Who's the target audience? Who are we going to go after? This is the key to providing value in the area that you've identified as your expertise, okay? We want to make sure that we can really, truly identify our audience. And so I'm going to give you a hint, okay? Here's my little hint for you when you define your audience, okay? It's this. It ain't everyone. One of the worst mistakes that you can make when you're building a personal brand is trying to appeal to everybody. And you wouldn't be surprised how many people actually do this. It's critical for you to define your niche. And I know that sounds limiting to you. It really does, but it's not. Here's why. Today's markets are all micro markets. There is no mass market anymore. Anybody who tells you that is wrong. It's not true. There isn't a mass market. If you're trying to go for the masses, you're going after nobody. Everybody wants to be treated special. Everything is customized today, and so is the market. If you don't know who Seth Godin is, Godin, you need to know who Seth Godin is. He is the king of micro marketing. He's the king of marketing, period. Seth Godin has an incredible blog. Seth Godin has lots of YouTube videos and TED Talks and things. Seth Godin has written some incredible books like Purple Cow. Really, they're short, they're small, they're amazing books. And if you want a personal brand, you should read as much Seth Godin as you can get your little hands on. They're easy to read and they're brilliant. And he talks about this idea of the micro market. And the thing is, the beauty of it is that you think that if I only get a small audience, I can't make a living at it, but you will make a living at it because those people, they relate to you. They believe what you want to believe. They want to do what you do. They're true believers and they're going to market what you do to other people. And you're going to get more people. And you're going to get enough to make a living. And you're going to get enough to make whatever it is that you want to make. And you're going to get enough to make what Seth Godin says is a dent in the universe. That's what we want to do. So you want to define your market. It's not for everybody, okay? So once we define who that audience is, there's a critical question that we have to ask. And that is, what is the perception that you need to create in order to appeal to that audience, okay? What is the perception that you need to create in order to appeal to your audience? This is a key thing. And a valuable exercise for us to get there is to develop what I call a target profile, a profile of your target audience. Now, this is a horrible PowerPoint slide. When I teach presentation training, this is an example of something I would put on the screen and say, don't do this. But this actually is something that works because it's got the elements that we really want when we're creating a target profile, okay? Look, we want to define the niche that we want to occupy. And in order to do that, we have to do this hard work. If you think about FedEx, you think about overnight. It's no accident. That's the niche that they wanted to go after. They could have gone after all the air freight in the world. They wanted to go after overnight. Apple, when you think about Apple, they struggled when they first came out. They used to do full-page ads in the New York Times and things. But eventually, they put one ad on there, full-page ad, and they had two words, think different. They're all about challenging the status quo. Bam, now they've got their market. Harley Davidson, okay? There are motorcycles that are better than Harley Davidson motorcycles. But Harley Davidson appeals to us because it appeals to the rebel in us, that weekend guy who's going to put on that Harley Davidson jacket and get on that hog and go down to Cave Creek and get yourself some beers and whatever. People have tattoos on their arm with Harley Davidson on there. Can you imagine having a tattoo of Procter & Gamble on your arm? No. You want to define your niche and then true believers. And that's what we want to do. That's what this exercise is going to help you do. The more you understand your audience, the more prepared you're going to be to develop a niche of products and services that they will want and they will need and they will relate to and they will resonate. So this horrible slide has the things that we want to look at. We'll look at demographics. Demographics is really what makes up the people, you know, an economic standpoint of who they are, how old are they, whatever. We know what demographics are. Psychographics. This is just the research, the statistics that classifies a population according to psychological variables like attitudes or values or fears. And once we get that part done, we want to identify the pain points and the challenges. This is where we want to do. How am I going to alleviate your pain? Whatever it could be. It could be productivity. It could be I do something to help them with their process. I help them with support, maybe customer service. And then there's challenges that they have. Man, we don't have a lot of resources to go out there. How are we going to allocate our resources? Our response time is terrible. You know, I mean, think about it this way. It used to be that the big ate the small. Today, the fast eat the slow. How can I get faster in the market? You can be the person that can do that if that's what you want to do. What are they struggling with? How can you help them? These are the questions that we want to ask. So your target profile is critical for you to define that audience. That's really what we want to do. And when we get all this down, we want to think about how we're going to communicate. If you want to communicate with your audience in the most effective way is doing it through emotion, okay? We want to do it through emotion. This is a great ad about climate change. This is what you look like if we don't, it's going to change us if we don't change climate change. Very effective advertisement, but it underscores the point that we've got to have an emotional appeal for our target audience. We want to create emotional feedback. emotional response from our target audience. Okay, whatever niche you want to occupy, whichever one you want to be the authority in, you want to appeal to the emotional side of your audience. Then you create a bond with them. They start to feel comfortable doing business with you because they're always going to play that role. You're always going to be available to help with that problem, that specific thing. They're going to come to you with that. It's going to be extremely important for you to do it. But here's the other problem. This is a terrible slide. I didn't create this slide, but it's here for a reason. If you want to determine emotional appeal, you can get caught up in all of this pathos and all of these things and all of these words and things. Oh my God. Again, we're getting away from simple. We're going to be able to look like experts, but we can't do anything with it. We want to be able to execute it. And in order for us to execute it, we have to make it simple. And if we're going to make it simple, there's a better way for us. 3 questions. Forget this. Ask these questions. How do I make people feel? Okay? How do I want to make them feel? That's part of the emotional appeal. Second thing is, how do people benefit by working with me? When you understand the answer to that question, you understand how to appeal to the emotional side of that question. The final one is, what words do other people use to describe me? Okay? These are the 3, so make a list of words that best describe the features of your personality that you want people to resonate with. These are the things that you want to do. So are they attracted to you because you're organized, okay? Are you like obsessively, compulsively organized? Or is it because you get back to them and you're very timely and you're quick? Is it because they love working with you because you have a great sense of humor, that everything you do has a humorous slant and it's funny and it's fun and it builds energy with them? What is it? What are those words? Those words are what we call emotional modifiers. And they're things like happiness, and fear, and belonging, and trust, and pride, and leadership, and values. Make a list of those. Those are the words that are going to be the key for you to make an emotional connection to your audience. Okay? So we've done all this work. And now we want to put it together. We're ready to combine it all into a brand statement. And that brand statement is going to create what I call a so that connection. It's something that's between what you want to be known for and your desired results. It's the so that. Here's some examples of kind of what this is going to look like. Okay, your brand statement. Very simple. I help blank do blank. There you go. There it is. That's all you got to do. I help small business owners organize their time so they can organize their life. There's my brand statement. Very simple. I help businesses harness their image and reach their goals by creating killer websites. That's my passion. That's me. Bam. That's my brand statement. Very easy to understand. Simplicity, simplicity, simplicity. The simpler it is, the easier it is to define, the easier it is for people to understand it. I want to be known for creating killer websites to help companies create relationship users. How easy is that? It's so simple and so easy. Once you've completed all of it, and you've got this brand statement down, and you want to ask these 3 questions to see if your brand identity might need some, refinement or something. 3 questions. Is the brand identity something that best represents who I am and what I can do? If it's not, go back to the values. Go back to your traits. Go back to your authenticity. We want to make sure it really resonates with who you are at the core level of who you are. So every day that they do business with you, it's the same guy or girl. Second question is the brand identity something that creates value in the eyes of the organization, the stakeholders, the customers? Okay. So I've got this great brand identity, but does it create value? If it doesn't, it's going to need some refinement. Again, what are the challenges that I'm going out there? What are the problems that I'm going to solve? What challenges can I meet for them? This is what I do. If they ask you to do something different, I've got somebody for that I can refer you to. But when you want to do this, this is what I do. It's very, very effective. You get paid a lot of money for that too. Third question, what risks am I taking by exhibiting this brand? The best way to say this to me is really, can I live with it? Can I live with this brand? Is this a brand that I can actually live with every single day? And I'm going to tell you why that's important. See, when you've completed all these things, you ask these questions, and then you see if the brand needs refinement. And then once you get to that point, now you're doing great. Now, I want to talk about this last part of it. Can I live with the brand? Because I think this is probably the most important question. And the first thing I want to do is show you something that I think is really funny. This is the third time you've been late to work this week. Do you know what that means? It's Wednesday. I just think it's funny. I put it on there. It's not, the answer isn't it's Wednesday. It means you're consistent. Okay. I think it's a funny way to talk about consistency. But consistency is, I could have gone right to this slide. You might have fallen asleep. Consistent messaging is very important. Okay. You want to make sure that you have a consistent, that you're developing a consistent message. All right. What message do you want to consistently reinforce? What message do you want to consistently reinforce? Make sure you can decide what it is, because you're going to use that same message across all your communication channels. And I'm getting dangerously close to telling you how to do social media and a website, so I don't know. But seriously, you want to be very consistent, okay? Here's why. Because consistency builds trust. It builds credibility with your audience. When they know what they can depend on you for, when they can know the things that they're not going to go to you for, it gives them trust. They begin to trust you. You have to be able to live with your brand, okay? And you want to keep your tone, the words that you use, printed words, written words, the words that you use on the phone, everything, you want to keep them the same. The tone is the same, your personality is the same, and then you're going to want to use the same design elements, like your logo, the colors that you use, the fonts that you use, the type of imagery that you're going to use. You want it to all have the same consistent brand message. You want to find your unique voice. These are the things that resonate with me. Man, I love this. I love this look. I love the weathered look. I like whatever it is. And then you want to use it. Stay true to it. It's one of the keys to creating a very powerful brand. All right. We don't have a lot of time left, but we're going to talk about this. Websites are extremely important. Now, social media may be more important, but you have to have your own website. You have to create your own. If you don't own a domain name, a personal domain name, you should. Go get one. You can go to GoDaddy. You can do a domain search, yourname.com. Nobody else should have that. But if they do, look for a variation on the name. Look for a variation on what it is you do, and then buy that, okay? Having your own domain is essential. You have to have it. It wasn't that way in 1997. It is today. No matter who you are, no matter what you do, you want to have your own domain, okay? And then you can go and build a website. It doesn't have to be anything really complicated. It could be one page. It could be a landing page. Go to a place like, what I like is I love Wix, W-I-X. Wix is great. It's a great place. Squarespace, I've heard really good things. I looked at it, I didn't use it. GoDaddy you can use. You can use WordPress. It's really limiting to me, I think. You can do a free one on that. There's lots of free ways, free options for you. But even if you pay a little bit of money, you're going to get all kinds of different really paid options that are going to really help you. But there's no excuse. You don't have to know how to do code. You just have to know how to go onto the website and they'll walk you through. They have all kinds of design options for you. You can use your own pictures, format things the way. It's awesome. It's a great project. It's really, really fun to do. And it's your chance to create something that is 100% reflective of who you are and what you stand for. So I highly advise you to build your own website. And you can build a small one and you can add things later to it. That's what I did with mine, and it's really pretty cool. So please go try to do it. You're going to really like doing it. It's a lot of fun. Okay. You do a personal website. Understand that it's also, we're doing it because it's fun, but it's also to you. And the best personal websites are like, they're like calling cards, like we used to give out business cards and things. It's the contact point. It represents what you stand for. It's a place where you want to make it a place where anyone can learn more about you and what you're bringing to the table, okay? So it doesn't have to be a big thing. There's no coincidence that the best people in the industry, in any industry, they tend to have their own website, okay? They've made one, and they also take the quality of it seriously. So the content and the design is something they take seriously. Now, for your own benefit, and again, you can have this presentation for free. I've got a QR code that you can scan at the end, which will take you to a place you can ask me for it, or you can use my email or whatever it is, or call me on the phone, whatever, it's fine. These two QR codes here will take you to two different resources that have examples of personal websites, which are really great. One of them is Wix. The other one is brand something or other. I don't know. But I did the work for you. All you got to do now is take your little phone out. I'll give you a second here. Go ahead. Take your phone out. Get your little QR code. It's a free app. You can do that. If you can't do that, just hit print screen, and you're going to save your little screen image, and you can print that on a Word document, and then you can go and you can get these. This will give you an idea, so this is going to really help you to look at what other people out there are doing that are really effective. Okay, now I want to talk about, again, this is not a how-to seminar on how to build a social media presence. I don't have time for it. I'm not the expert in it. But the resources are online, and they will accomplish anything that you want to do. Okay? Once you've done the hard work of defining your brand, which is what we worked on today, then you can come back and do the social media part of it. Sharing consistently to social media is going to help you draw other people to you and your brand. So it's very important for you to be able to do this. And just to identify some of the things that are important. There we go. You want to use it to your advantage to improve your personal brand. So there's LinkedIn. LinkedIn is awesome. It's the best place for you to showcase yourself as a professional. Highly advise that you do it. You can put posts on there. You can do share all kinds of photographs and videos. Twitter is a great for you to start a discussion or to join a discussion or to publish things that you see from other people that is interesting, and you're going to get followers. They're going to follow your Twitter feed and whatnot. And then YouTube, you can create your own YouTube channel, and I just started doing this. It's really fun because you can do vlogs, which is the video blog thing where you can talk into it. That's really cool. You can communicate with your audience. It's a great way for you to define your personal brand. You can put other people's videos on there. So those three things are like the major ones. This is all about using content to position you as an expert. And they call that thought leadership. That's what we want to do. Take a proactive approach to sharing your expertise with all these different sites. It shows that you're open to professional interaction. It shows that you're eager to engage in conversation. So you can be in group discussions. You can comment on posts that are relevant to what you do. You can make an effort to help others for free. You can share content for free. You will be surprised at the opportunities that are going to come your way as a result of this. And then outside of those first three, there's other vehicles that you can use. I'm sure you've heard of them. You've got Facebook, of course. You can have a professional Facebook page. You've got Instagram, which everybody uses. You've got even Snapchat. There's a place for that. I don't know. For me, I don't know. I'm not a kid, but there's places for all these different things. And again, these can make a difference if they are relevant to your brand and to your purpose. If they're not relevant, don't use them. We want to have that consistent brand message. We want to be out there portraying us for exactly who we are. Okay? Now, lasting brands are built the old-fashioned way. Okay? They continually deliver on their promise. Remember, we talked about it. A promise delivered. That's your brand. Okay? You have to ask yourself this question. Is your brand evolving? Is your brand evolving? You can see that Apple evolved over many years. Right? McDonald's, it took them years and tens of millions. They used to have that, how many people, they said, millions served, 10 million served, of identical meals to build the reputation. FedEx made its reputation one successful shipment at a time. Today, would you give that thing that has to be in New York tomorrow to the post office, or would you give it to FedEx? FedEx made that reputation one successful shipment at a time. The key is that you want to continually evaluate your brand, make sure that it's relevant to the needs of your audience. You want to make sure that it can, so you can evolve that professionally, and you want to be yourself personally as you go through. So the evolution of it's a constant thing. We're all, should I evolve my brand? Not getting away from the core of who I am, but making sure that I maintain relevance. I want to be relevant here, okay? I mean, look, today more than ever, you have to have a meaningful personal brand. It's the only way that you're going to survive out there in the world. If you have one, you're going to stand out from everybody else who does what you do. Okay? If you have one, you're going to have instant credibility. You're going to build your credibility with everybody. If you have a great personal brand, you're going to be confident and you're going to become connected. You're going to be much more successful. So this whole idea of personal branding, I'm touching on these things. There's so much more to it. Thank God we have the internet. You can get a master's degree in personal branding if you want to, build all your social media and things. But if you're not actively working on your personal brand, you're making a mistake. You're leaving money on the table. You're leaving a lot of satisfaction. You're leaving yourself out in the cold. What we really want you to do is we want you to get yourself out there, the unique, wonderful, special person with the gifts that you have out there in the world doing things that are important to you. Because I guarantee you, if you communicate that, it's going to be important to other people. And that's how we really, truly build a great brand and a great career and a great life. I strongly believe in all of this. Okay, so here it is as promised. You take a little snapshot, take a picture of it with your phone, and then you can come back and scan it however you can with your QR code. I didn't do a very good job of with the text over the jeans here, but there's my phone number, there's my text and everything. And I mean, we've got a couple of minutes left. I was trying not to have too much time left because I don't want to answer too many questions. I won't know how to answer them. But anyway, that's it for me. And, I think we're ready. If anybody has any questions, we can certainly try to answer them in the time we have left.
Thanks, Paul. Tom, sorry. Thanks, Tom. That was a great presentation. Sorry, I was reading Paul's comment while I was coming back. So Paul said, as a leader, I stress the importance of my team members' personal brand that contributes to my overall team's brand. It's one of my main areas of focus.
Yeah, and that's great too. The brand can be about your team and about what you do, and it can be about your company and things. For the purposes of this seminar, we're talking about you personally, but part of your personal brand is that you want to make other people successful. For me, that's it. My whole thing is I want people to become the best version of themselves. And once you know that about yourself, then you can do that in so many different ways. I coach high school basketball. I try to teach life lessons through sport. I teach high school. I love to work with young people. I teach public speaking. I coach speakers. I do all these things to help people once you understand what it is you stand for. So if that's what you stand for professionally, hey, man, I want everybody to have a great brand, and I want us to have a great brand. That's kudos to you. It's a great comment.
Awesome. I really love Servan's question because I had the same question. He said, great presentation, Tom. I have a lot to work on. Do you offer mentoring?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
Do you offer mentoring?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Anything for a price. No, I'm just kidding. But no, of course. Anything that I can do. Look, I love to help people. Please, if you have one question or if you would like to schedule some time to kind of figure all this out. I love working with people, and I do it all the time. So I'd love to do that, of course.
Awesome. Lisa says, love LinkedIn for professional mastermind groups. It's a great way to bounce ideas off industry people. And you're talking about that.
Very cool. Super valuable. They really are. Create those for yourself. It's very, very valuable to tap the brains of other people who have done.
Awesome. Alicia said, Tom, thank you for sharing your passion on this topic. Your suggestion of consistency especially resonates. Yeah, definitely being consistent.
Not just in personal branding, but in life itself. Consistency is the key to your success in everything that you do. It's the key to you think about exercise, you think about relationships. I'm thinking a lot about that lately. But being consistent, being there, it's one of the most, showing up is 90% of it, right? We've heard that before. So absolutely, consistency is amazing.
Awesome. I'm just copying something Servan just suggested. Seth Godin, The Linchpin is one of my favorite books.
Linchpin is an amazing book. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes. Again, Seth Godin, all of his books are terrific. Linchpin, that might be the best book. You're right. I love that book. Thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Servan also said, outstanding. We'll reach out. Lisa saying, fantastic presentation. Lots of thank yous in the chat from Anna. Thank you. Great presentation. Evelyn, great presentation. I always learn from your presentations. Thank you.
I really appreciate the fact that we all have to be on Zoom pretty much all the time. It's for you to sit through a 45-minute presentation at the end of a day like this on a Friday. Thank you so much for that. I'm very honored that you would. I hope there was some value in this. The last thing I want to do is waste anybody's time. It's the one commodity we don't have any more of. You can have more money if you want to. You can have more love if you want to. You can pay more money to get more love, but you can't get more time. And I think it's important as presenters that we really are very respectful of the time that we have with our audience, because they can't get it back. So thank you for that. It makes me feel good if I haven't wasted your time.
I was taking notes nonstop. It sounds like other people were as well. The whole entire time I've been taking notes. I would love a copy of your presentation. I know Tony was the first thing Tony said. I want a copy of the presentation as well before he even saw it.
I'm so flattered. So flattered. Normally what I would do is I would have put that up on SlideShare, but I didn't have the ability to do it because literally today when I was going to do it, I was at Chaparral High School and I was administering some state tests, but I don't have access to SlideShare or LinkedIn, so I couldn't do it. I promise you that if you will email me at tomotstot@gmail.com, which is really easy, or if you'll just click on that link and there's a little contact form. Believe me, I don't know anything about spamming. I can't spam you about anything. I would never do that. But if you'll send me a contact somehow, you could send smoke signals up or send a pigeon over to my house. I would be happy to share this presentation with you. And I've also added a lot of notes to it on the notes page. So it's not just images, it's images plus notes that are the highlights of the things that I tried to express to you clearly today.
Awesome. I just posted a couple things in the chat. Your email address, I'm just double checking. I think I misspelled your, oh no, I spelled your name right.
Don't do that. It's Otstot. Tom Otstot. You can also go to tomotstot.com. Right. Otstot. There was a lot of T's on sale that day, so it's Otstot. Tom Otstot. If you go to tomotstot@gmail.com, you can. And if you can't do any of that, I'm a member of Unity Speakers. You can always contact Unity Speakers. We love having guests. We're doing a great revitalization program in our Toastmasters program. We would love to have you come and visit us at Unity Speakers. You can go to Unity Speakers, just do a Google search, Unity Speakers Toastmasters. You'll come up, and believe me, we'll treat you like a king, and you'll really enjoy it. It'll help you build your brand.
Awesome. I love that. I also posted a survey link as well 3 minutes ago. If people could please fill out the survey, that would be great. We had some more comments come in. Virginia, thank you for these tips. My number one takeaway is to create my personal website.
Very important. And it can only be one page if you want it to be. You can start with a page. Just start with one page and see how you like it. It's so easy to do. Look, if I can do it, you can certainly do it. It's so easy to do, and it's really fun. It's super fun. It's addicting, though. It's addicting. You're going to spend a lot of time, way more time than you think doing it, not because it's hard, because it's fun.
Now, there is a lot of people saying great presentation, but there is another question from Sobin saying, I wonder how Tom defines his own brand. Yes, I want to hear that as well.
I alluded is that I want to help people become the best version of themselves. And I've been saying that for a number of years. And again, it's simple, but what it does is it frees me up to do so many things. As I was a corporate executive until COVID hit, and now I've just decided that I'm retired. But as a corporate executive, it wasn't the products that we were sourcing or building or selling. It wasn't that. It was the success that we were selling, and it was the people that we were working with to help them become successful. To me, that was it was always about the people. So now I can do this in so many different ways. It frees you up. Once you understand what your personal brand is, you want it to be specific enough so you do have like a niche and everything. But once you understand it, it frees you up to go out and do a lot of different things and still feed the beast. So that's really what mine is. It's just, look, I love helping people with public speaking and presentation skills. That is true. I love doing that. I love helping people understand how they can be better communicators. everybody has the ability to be a great speaker, because the problem that we have is we don't think that we're worth anything as we are. We always want to be Tony Robbins or Joel Osteen or Joyce Meyer or something. We've already got those people. What we need is you and your ideas. And when you get very comfortable and authentically yourself, you're going to resonate with people who don't resonate with other speakers. It's such an amazing thing when you can get up and communicate your ideas your way, and people value it, and they will. But I love doing that, but I just like working with people and trying to help people become the best version of themselves.
Thank you so much, Tom. This has been a great session. Has anyone got any last questions before we leave for the day? Just a lot of people thanking you. Thank you again, Tom from Virginia. Thank you, Tom from Lisa. Tony said, thank you, Tom. Great insights. I love your presentation.
I'm super flattered and I'm very energized right now. So thank you. I just thank you guys very much for being there today. Again, if there's anything I can do to help you, please let me know. Just reach out. And if I don't know the answer and I can't help you, I'll find somebody who can. I'll give you some sort of resource if I can. Thank you so much. This has been just really fun. I'm just very honored to be here today.